obviously to speak. You have the nonverbal hand and arm signals and other means like that. You have radios. You can use handheld radios, mobile radios, ham radios. You can have scanners. Scanners are usually not used to transmit. They can only receive, meaning that you can't talk on them. But you can listen to what other people are saying and find out the frequencies that they're on. And if you hear somebody, maybe you can find out their frequency, get on it, and talk to them. Find somebody that is in your area that has like-minded things that you want to help with. The big thing is, though, when you use radios, remember that other people might have scanners as well. So use a code system. Use the phonetic alphabet. When you're talking, limit your time on the radio. Get your basic point across of what you're trying to say, what you're trying to do. With radios, depending on your radio and what your use of your radio is, you might have certain licenses that you need. Okay? For basic CBs, you don't need an actual license or anything. You can use the frequencies that are part of the CB band. Just go to any electronic store, go to even Walmart, you can buy yourself a CB radio. There's other frequencies like GMRS that you need a license. It's better to have a license and use your training, use it now, than to not and then get into trouble at a later time. Same thing with ham. You need a license for the frequencies that cover ham radios. With radios, you have encryptions. Encryptions, pretty much what it means is that people might be able to hear or see the frequency but can't hear you because there's a special code inside the radio that you have and that what your other radio has that you're talking to, that they can only hear each other. It's kind of like garble if you don't have that code in there. Another thing is with like code, for those of you who may not know, in World War II, the U.S. Marine Corps used the Navajo language and Navajo speakers to create a code and talk while they were fighting the Japanese. That is one of the only codes that I know of that has never been broken. Nobody has ever been able to break the code and figure out what was being said. Another thing with communication and practicing communication is if you have some type of protective mask or a device that covers your mouth a little bit, have you practiced talking on a radio with it? So you can sound pretty much to where the other person can understand what you're saying, even though that you have that device or something blocking your speech a little bit. Morse code. Do you know what Morse code is? Back in the Vietnam War, a lot of the prisoners, especially in Hanoi where they were being kept, used Morse code and used different codes to be able to speak to each other without the North Vietnamese really knowing what they're saying, and different things. It would give them courage, would give them motivation and stuff like that to still fight for what's going on. Another thing is communication could be something as simple as fires or smoke. For those of you who saw the Lord of the Rings, I believe it was in the third movie of Lord of the Rings with Frodo, is that when the last stronghold was being attacked, the way that they alerted the rest of the the area had fires. A fire would start, then at a distance, that group would see the fire, they would start a fire, and it would be a chain. There's different things like that. There's communication is a whole plethora of different things that can be used. It's up to your imagination on how you want to use it and different things you want to use. The only thing that I would recommend is, right now in today's society, if you use communication such as ham radios, such as certain radios that have different frequencies that you need a license, get a license. It's just going to be that much safer and that much easier for you in the long run. There will be more to Commo later. We'll get more and more in depth. Hopefully you're enjoying it. And like I said, put your comments in and try to get a discussion going. Thank you.